up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and you're watching the Red Cup Podcast, where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. And I want to give a special thank you to everybody for showing up to the stream today. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's time. It's time. What's going on, you guys in the chat? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. But what's going on, you guys? It's Monday. It is Monday. It has been a Monday, but we are here. December 2025 is almost over. You guys can hear me good? All right. Good. Thank you guys for pulling up as always. It is going to be a full show today. I want to get into a lot of things, okay? I want to get into, of course, Donald Trump and these boats, okay, out here in the Caribbean. And you know, we're gonna pull some receipts on that. But I want to get into Donald Trump and the boats in the Caribbean. I want to get into the DC police chief. Okay. I want to get into Jasmine Crockett. All right. I want to get into a lot of things. I want to get into a little bit of the backlash of 50 Cent online. So I want to get into that in our shots today. But and I want to get into the Somalians. And of course, I want to get into Marjorie Traitor Greene, okay, and her 60-minute interview, if you guys haven't seen it. All right. So I want to get into a lot of things. So thank you so much for pulling up. I see everybody in the chat. Thank you so much. I see you guys. What's going on? And again, let me know where you guys are from. Let me know where you guys are from. Let me know what you've been up to. How was your weekend? My weekend was very good. Very good. It was busy, but good. I was out in the cold. Okay. It is cold here in the DC area. It's very cold here. So I was out in the cold and, but I had fun. I absolutely had fun. So we're going to have fun today. Let me know what you guys did for the weekend. Cuba. I ain't going no daggone Cuba. Y'all play too much. What's up, everybody in the chat? And thank you to Mike That Dude on Cash App. I appreciate you. All right. And I will be checking my Cash App throughout the show because I miss a lot of you guys's donations and things like that. And I want to make sure I recognize everybody. So thank you so much for pulling up, and let's go ahead and get into it. I wish I was in Cuba right now. Well, no, I don't, but you know what I mean. The weather, okay, your car. Oh my gosh. All right. So I want to get into starting. All right. I want to get into the DC chief that resigned. Okay. The DC chief, okay, here at DC resigned. Everybody's wondering why. I am going to get into that. But I want you guys to see what she had to say because she just recently, started. Technically, she's only been here like maybe 2-3 years, something like that. And she's already out, and I wonder why. But let's go ahead and get into that, and then we'll talk about it. Here we go.
We want to bring in the chief right now and talk to Chief Smith and find out a little bit more about why the time was right for her to decide to step down. Chief, I appreciate you joining us today. 28 years in law enforcement. It's been 2.5 here in D.C. Why now?
Well, first of all, let me start by saying thank you so much for doing the interview this morning. I want to begin by saying thank you to Mayor Muriel Bowser for, number one, trusting me with such a significant responsibility here in this city. Mayor Bowser was very key and instrumental in making sure that there were we had a policy-led environment that will allow me to lead the police department the way we should. What makes me make the decision today? It was a tough decision, to be honest. 28 years in law enforcement. I've already retired from the United States Park Police after 24 years. I stepped into this role when crime was at its all-time high. And what really resonated with me was going home for Thanksgiving to visit my family in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. My mom passed away 2 years ago. I have been going nonstop. I have missed many amazing celebrations, birthdays, marriages, you name it, within our family. And being able to come home for Thanksgiving 2 years after my mom passed really resonated with me, and has allowed me to make a decision that I think is necessary, not just only for me, but also for my family.
Are you going to go back home? Are you going to stay here?
I will stay in the area. I have no desire to live in Pine Bluff at this moment. I will remain here in the DMV. The District of Columbia is an amazing place to visit. It's a wonderful city. It's a beautiful city. I've been here since 2011, and I am certainly humbled to have had the opportunity to serve as the chief of police.
You talked about some of the changes that the department has taken to the positive. Obviously, the violent crime rate has come down under your tenure, even in the last 2.5 years. But a lot of people also see the changes that come from the federal level as well. And this has been a challenge. You've had to work and balance that with the federal law enforcement. Did that impact your decision to step down at all?
It did not. I come from the federal side, right? I spent 24 years in federal law enforcement. And as I'm pretty sure the entire world recognized that we met some challenges in August of this year with the federal surge and the executive order with regards to the crime emergency. But what I will say is that our mayor, Muriel Bowser, did a fantastic job with leading us through those efforts. So no, I have always had a positive relationship with our federal partners, as well as it predates me with the Metropolitan Police Department. Our federal partners work with us in our Violent Crime Suppression Division. They also work up with us on our Capital Area Regional Task Force and any other large-scale events that we have here in the city. We work very collaboratively with our partners.
Can you talk just for a minute now about how that balance has been with working with the federal government, particularly the White House in this case? Because obviously there's been a lot of questions from DC residents about the working
He's
with
slow
ICE,
rolling
or
that
if
question.
you are working with ICE, how that balance has been. Can you talk about that and try to set the record straight for some viewers?
And so I think we all know that when the presidential executive crime emergency was announced, we had to work with ICE. Since that time, we have not. We do not work with ICE. We do work with our federal partners. The team is doing a fantastic job. We have established protocols where we support the actual federal partners are providing support for us in all 7 of our districts. And to date, it's working. It has been, they work very closely with our crime suppression team members assigned to each district. And it has been a very positive interaction up to this point.
There were also some questions, and since we're trying to set the record straight here, as to whether or not, and this was the accusation from some members of Congress and the White House, if crime numbers were manipulated. Were they?
No. I can say this to you, Steve. I have never and will never authorize or even support any thought processes or activities with regards to crime numbers being manipulated. What I will say is that when it's brought to my attention, we will hold those members accountable. 2.5
years as chief of DC Police, you say this was the honor of your career. What will you look back on?
Absolutely not. Okay. Absolutely not. We're not going for it. So let's be clear. This woman right here absolutely is getting out before the dust settles, okay? Because she's not the only one resigning, all right? Muriel Bowser has been the mayor for, I don't know, forever at this point. And she's also not seeking re-election, okay? Trump came in and I'm telling you, all of the Dems in DC are shook, okay? The mayor is going. The new DC police chief, okay, 2.5 years. Yeah. She's only been here like that long. And she's already going. And that's because of those crime stats. So he slow rolled the question, okay, because he doesn't want to be so abrasive. All right. But I can tell you right now, that chief does not want to have to answer to the fact that the crime stats here were manipulated. Okay. They were manipulated. The department already has lawsuits, and this is way before Donald Trump. She doesn't want to be a part of that. She's like, yeah, I already did 30 years. I'm out. I'm just out. And that's where we're going. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the police chief, we shall see if she'll still have to, testify. But I thought it was very intriguing that all of a sudden she was out when she's being called to tell what she knows about those crime stats that were manipulated. As I'm sure in every other city, each police chief will be called upon, especially in Chicago. Okay, because there's no way you're telling me crime is down in Chicago. I live in DC, but Chicago, please. Absolutely not. So you guys let me know what you think about that. I wanted to play her entirety because I wanted you to see how she's trying to, you know, slow roll it and spin it. But yeah, it's about the fact that those crime stats were manipulated. So you guys let me know what you think about that. Now, let's go ahead and get into something that I told you the last week was coming. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into Ratchet Crockett. Ratchet Crockett has officially filed to be a U.S. Senate candidate. Okay, she's going to be a U.S. Senate candidate. Go figure. Shocker. All right, she's going to be a U.S. Senate candidate. And since you know she is no longer going to be at that TX30 seat because she has been etched and sketched out of that map, she is running for U.S. Senate. But I told you they want another candidate to run, meaning the establishment. They don't really want Ratchet Crockett to run, but the people like her. So they're not going to tell her not to, but they don't want her to run. However, I want to go ahead and let the news tell you the good news for her, I guess. Here we go.
To Texas now for a last-minute shakeup in a key Senate race. A source tells CBS News Democratic Representative Jasmine Crockett is launching her campaign. We're told Crockett filed paperwork hours before the deadline for candidates to run in the March 3rd primary. Now, this all comes as Democrat Colin Allred announced he is dropping out instead of running for a newly drawn congressional seat in the House. Let's bring in CBS News reporter Shauna Mazzell live for us now from Dallas. Shauna, it's been more than 30 years since a Democrat has won a statewide seat in Texas. How are Republicans viewing Crockett's candidacy here?
Since a Democrat has won a statewide race here in the state of Texas, so Crockett certainly has a tall task ahead of her. We are expecting her to take the stage behind us in about 30 more minutes Central Time, but Republicans are really excited about her jumping into this race because they see Crockett as a progressive candidate. They see her as someone that will be vulnerable. And a lot of them have been coming out and making statements in the hours since Crockett filed that candidacy paperwork. I want to read to you some of those statements. First, let's go to Ken Paxton. Paxton is the Attorney General of Texas, but he's also running for this Senate seat. And he says, everyone knows Crockett will be soundly defeated. We're 6 months out from a runoff, and Cornyn's already stolen $40 million that should have gone to Georgia, North Carolina, and Michigan, etc. He went on to say that Cornyn wants to sacrifice the majority by spending $100 million on losing a primary race, and saying that this is beyond selfish. There have been questions on whether or not Republicans could see a runoff election in this race as well.
Yeah, I want to lean into that for a second here, Shauna, because tell us about who Crockett will likely face in this primary and why there will likely be a runoff here.
Well, if you asked me that question a few days ago, the answer would have been completely different. A few days ago, you had Colin Allred still in the race, but he actually dropped out as Jasmine Crockett was going through this process, mulling whether or not she was going to run for Senate. Colin Allred dropped out. So you still have James Tallarico. Tallarico actually rose to prominence over the summer during the redistricting efforts. He's been a very vocal Democrat, and he's also proved his ability to raise a lot of money in a short amount of time. But some people are saying that Democrats need to be united going into the midterm election.
Shauna Mazzell, always great to see you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, so you guys, as you saw, okay, Jasmine Crockett is definitely going to run, all right? And you know, some point tonight she'll have a speech or whatever she's going to do and, you know, officially announce her candidacy, but she is definitely going to run, okay? The 92% is excited, right? The 92% is excited. So, you know, kudos. And I hope she does run, okay? Because there's absolutely no way that she will win statewide. And here's the thing, okay? Outside of, you know, all the things that they're going to bring up, all right? And this could go for any candidate, all right? They can bring up anything on the Republican side, the independent side, and the Democratic side. However, they're going to bring up all of that fraud, okay? Because there's absolutely no way you go from making six figures to millions when you cannot have a side hustle, cannot have another job. Okay. As a representative, you can't do anything else. So how did you get it? So they're going to look into all of that, the campaign money. I mean, they're going to look into all of that. So it's all going to come out. It's just about how it's going to play out. However, on top of that, all of the all of the Texas voters, okay, are not Democratic. So they're not going to vote a progressive candidate. All right. They're not going to do it. They have a better chance with the white guy. Okay. I think his name is Tolerico something. I don't know. But they have a better chance with him. Okay, than they do with Ratchet Crockett. However, I am not in the business of giving good advice to Democrats. So yes, run Ratchet Crockett. Please run, Jasmine. Let her run. Operation, let her speak. All right. Now, like I said, the 92% is in her corner. But this is what one of the top Democrats had to say about Miss Jasmine Crockett running for Senate. Here we go.
Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett just announced that she is running for the United States Senate in the great state of Texas. And there's a lot of chatter out there about how she's going to doom the Democratic Party. And as I ponder this, I'm thinking to myself, in 36 years, a Democrat has not won the great state of Texas to go and serve in the United States Senate. So how is it that the run of Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett for that seat is somehow any different than the other people who have tried and failed for over those 36 years? I wonder, does it have anything to do with race? We're going to tell radical truth, radical love, and radical care. So the Congresswoman has announced. And so how progressives look at her particular run is important. For those of us that believe that democracy should reign supreme, if you are a progressive, you should take it as such. That yes, she, as well as anybody else, has a right to run for this seat, period. And let the Democrats in Texas in the primary figure out which candidate they are going to advance in the general. But if people are dismissing the Congresswoman outright because of style, because of race, because of gender, the radical truth is something is wrong with you. Absolutely something is wrong with you, and you need to check yourself. Now, I'm talking to the Democrats right now. Progressives, we got to be on the democracy side of the ledger when it comes to this run. Because if we are not, then we are situating ourselves similarly to the neoliberal Democrats that we complain about, critique on a regular basis, and rightfully so. Now, this is not an endorsement of the Congresswoman, because quite frankly, I don't know where she stands on every issue. Okay. If she wants to run a very politically smart race and a morally correct race, then one of the issues she would be running on is Medicare for all. People all over the country, the majority of the American people want the federal government to play a stronger role in ensuring that they have health care. And that awakening has been bubbling up. Yes, since 2016, it is unquestionably the truth right now. And especially in the face of what is about to happen at the end of the year, going into 2026 with the Affordable Care Act. People from all political ideologies are saying that they cannot afford their health insurance. And the fact that we can modify it in the United States of America is wrong. It's wrong all day long. So I'm not sure where the Congresswoman stands on all issues. What I am saying right now is where I stand when it comes to democracy. She and anybody else has every right to run, to compete in the Democratic primary without having an extra burden of being called out differently from any other Democrat that would run for this seat.
The reason why she's getting called out is because she knows who the Democrats want to run. She knows who the Democrats have the polling on that could possibly at least get near a Republican. Okay. She already knows that. That's why she's being called out. They know, hey, you're going to separate the votes. Okay. Just like they knew it with Joe Biden. All right. Or Kamala. That's why they didn't give Kamala any, pushback. Because if they had a primary, then guess what? Kamala wouldn't have had a choice. Kamala wouldn't even have been number one. All right. So at the end of the day, they're trying to tell her, why are you running? We don't want you to run, but she's going to run anyway. Okay. Because you cannot tell the 92% what they can do. All right. That is racist. You cannot tell them what they can't do. Absolutely not. So, with that being said, I want you guys to get down in the comments and let me know what you think about Miss Nina Turner talking about Jasmine Crockett. Okay, and also let me know what you think about the DC police chief. Now, last but not least, in shots, I want to get into this really quickly. I want to get into this whole montage that this woman here on TikTok had about 50 Cent, because Black Twitter, Black TikTok, all of that, yeah, they are mad. I want you guys to see this. Here we go.
So somebody told me about a documentary about Diddy or something. Come to find out, 50 Cent is the one behind it. But I don't know why y'all are so surprised that 50 Cent would do this. I don't know why y'all are so surprised saying, oh my God, he doing too much. How? This is how he moves. He has no loyalty towards black people at all. He will bend over backwards if it was beneficial for him, for the Jews who take down Kanye every time Kanye speaks. It's the biggest manipulation game of the fucking planet. I don't know why y'all are surprised. If y'all look at 50 Cent's track record, who do he attack? Who do he try to take down? Who do he try to steal from? Who do he try to physically harm to gain power in this system that is non-black? Okay. He always goes after his own people. Not once has he ever said something against a non-black person, because he knows that is how he's going to stop his bag. In America, they know one of the biggest ways to separate black people is by giving them opportunities and money. They know all they got to do is offer you an opportunity and you will turn your back on your own people because it's beneficial for you. The individual mindset. I remember Wallow said a while ago, oh, well, our people always try to make it about color. Color. They don't care about color. Yes, the fuck they do. Yes, the fuck the motherfuckers do. As soon as a true black person, a black person who truly tries to help you grow and develop, what do? They take you down each and every time. You could never pay me to do money with people that don't support my community as a whole. Not as me as an individual. You have to support us as a whole or you don't want me. And I just find it weird. Like, what are y'all watching this documentary about? Oh, well, he killed Biggie. He killed Tupac. No, they killed they fucking selves because you knew who you was dealing with. I find it weird when these conversations come out, y'all act like these are children and they're just taking advantage of this stuff. These are grown adults that knew for a fact this man was sneaky. If he was sneaky towards one person, he'll do it towards you. What are you saying? Biggie knew this man was sneaky and conniving. There are videos of this man kissing on other men. What are you saying? They had transgenders in the videos. Why do y'all try to act like these people are adolescents and they don't know what the fuck they're doing? Everybody that dealt with Diddy knew what the fuck was going on, what their risk was. Like, I don't need to see no freaking documentary about no man getting bent over or trying to harm people. That's what life is. Y'all are like... You can't expose nobody's darkness to me because I understand we all have something dark going on in our life. At one point of period, you had something going on. Nobody is totally clean. I don't care what nobody got to say. That's the whole point of coming to Earth, so you can wake up to your darkness. Not
when I tell you this is light work compared to what I saw. Okay. So if you don't know, the Diddy documentary came out. All right. And it's executive produced by 50 Cent. All right. It's a 50 Cent film or Curtis Jackson. And when I tell you Black Twitter was going off, they were going off. Now, that is one side of the coin. Okay. The other side of the coin likes what 50 Cent did. However, they also wanted to point out some of the hypocrisy, and they thought that 50 Cent pointed it out very well. I want you guys to get into that. Here we go.
Now, what do we have here? It gave exactly what it was supposed to give in the documentary. 50 Cent knew exactly what he was doing. He wanted us to see there was people in that room that was going to be by his side no matter what. Obsessed. It gave obsessed. It gave celebrity obsession. It's giving, and it gave you wanted to be at them parties. It gave you wanted to be a girlfriend. It gave you dream about that man. It gave you got posters of him on your wall in your bedroom. It gave that you be dreaming about him being your husband at night. It gave you probably wanted to be Kim Porter. It gave you wanted to be a baby mama. It gave you wanted to just be in the same rooms as this man. It gave you dance to the music in your mirror and you imagine yourself dancing on him, dancing with him. Yeah. You just he made the same face and I made it. We made the same face because I'm like.
Now, if you don't know who she's talking about that young lady right there who was one of the jurors. However, she is also a Diddy fan. So they're calling all types of things out online right now. And, you know, this whole episode and all these series it's hilarious, it's entertaining, but it's messy, but it's also I say noteworthy. And it's also, a cautionary tale to young girls, young men, okay? Because, Little Rod said he woke up with a swollen you-know-what. So, with that being said, you guys, let me know what you think about all of these events here, because over the weekend, like I said, this documentary came out and you have two sides of the coins. You have one side saying that they're with 50 Cent, and then they have another side saying that 50 Cent is against the culture. All right. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about Ratchet Crockett going on to become a U.S. Senate candidate. Okay. Congrats. We absolutely love it for her. We absolutely do. And let me know what you think about the D.C. chief resigning. We absolutely love that for her too. Absolutely. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about that. I appreciate all you guys. Let me get to the you know what? OMG. Shout out to Antoine Daniels with the 4999 for the 2000. Super chat. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Micca will be my VP and taking over content creation 2026. What? Okay. All right. Look at that. You find out new news every day. Oh man, that's what's up. Thank you. I appreciate that, Anton. I appreciate it. Thank you. No wonder y'all was saying, see, I couldn't see it. No wonder y'all was saying little stuff in the chat. I couldn't see it. Thank you. Man, that's what's up. I appreciate you. We'll talk. But thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not God flavor. I am not acting surprised. I did not see it. And I didn't know. So that's what's up. Thank you. That's what he probably was calling about earlier. You guys, thank you so much for pulling up. And thank you, Tom, for the super chat. Okay. Gracias. Y'all are hilarious in this chat. All right, we starting off good. It's a good night. Yep, bag chasers. Let's get it. Yep, let's get it. All right, let's go. All right, so we did what? We did our shots. Let's get into it. Let's get into Marjorie. Might as well. Let's get into MTG. Okay, did she tell on Trump? All right, let's get into this because Marjorie Taylor Greene is out here just snitching. Okay, she's snitching. She's like a scorned side chick. I'm wondering if she's on the Stormy Daniels payroll, because she is out here like a scorned side chick. I mean, she's just mad. If you had the president's ear and the president told you, hey, I'm looking at these polls. I don't think you're going to win. So let's not go for this. Let's go for something else. Let's go for this. Let's go for that. You know what I'm saying? Let's do what is actually going to work for you and for the state of Texas and your constituents. But no, She had to get what she wanted to get. And then let's bring in the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. Marjorie Taylor Greene, you were in Congress, okay? And you did not bring this up yourself, okay? You could have. There were others in Congress that have said something before. Not many, but there were others. And you did not. And now all of a sudden, you're for the survivors. I've never seen you say anything to Virginia. I've never seen it. You were in Congress already. I never seen you talk to not one of those survivors and say anything. Okay. So yes, you are fake. All right. You are absolutely fake. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get into Marjorie Traitor Greene, because Marjorie Traitor Greene is absolutely on my nerves. I want to get into this interview with her and 60 Minutes. All right. 60 Minutes is I don't even know why they interviewed her other than her talking about Donald Trump, which I know is a big thing, but other than that, why are we talking to Marjorie? Absolutely not. However, here is Marjorie Traitor Greene. Here we go. Ma'am, no, you did not. No, you did not. No, you didn't. All right. So, unlike any other episode before, okay, now we're used to calling out white liberal women, okay, but today we're going to have to call out white conservative women, okay, and that would be this one right here. I don't even know if she's actually conservative, honestly and truly. However, but let's just go with it, okay. First of all, ma'am, you are not about to say that a president talking and having international talks with people you may or may not like or may disagree with is somehow the same as you being a traitor. Absolutely not. Okay, the rhinos, we have had enough. We have had enough, okay? Now, if I can call out Ratchet Crockett and her wig, I can call out you and why you got all of this money, do all of this insider trading, and never have your roots done. Absolutely not. Okay. I want to think that you are a blonde, but I can clearly see that you're not. And with that being said, you should be smarter than this. Absolutely. You should be smarter than this. You are just burning bridges left and right. And then you go over to the conservatives to the liberals as if they care. The liberals do not care about Marjorie Taylor Greene. They don't care about that woman at all. Okay. The View talked trash about her after she came. This woman is about to talk trash about her, but yet she sits here as if she's some type of prize or that she's some type of free thinker, okay? Because as long as Donald Trump could help her, she was on the train. I'm telling you right now, just treacherous. Just treacherous. To all my white women in the chat that watch me, what do y'all think about Marjorie Taylor Greene? Okay? Like, when I tell you that I understand, white liberal women, because they don't care about anybody. All right. They trample over everybody. But the conservative movement is a lot different. Okay. Conservative women are a lot different, whether black or white. And this woman right here is just absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Now, I agree with her on some things, America first. I absolutely agree with that. Okay. We're going to keep that 100%. But all the rest of the stuff she throws, death threats. If you disloyal, you disloyal. If you're a traitor, you're a traitor. How is that a death threat? Okay. Are there some terrible people that may be sending you death threats or saying things to your son, which they shouldn't be? Absolutely. And if you can report them, report them. But how is that the president's fault? When I tell you that it's just Trump. Watch. In about a month, she's going to have Trump derangement. She's going to have a tell-all book. She's going to talk about she's with Melania. Just watch. It's all absolutely not. When Marjorie Taylor Greene sits here and tells that bold-faced lie, as if she doesn't know. So let's be clear. Marjorie Taylor Greene knows absolutely everything about that Jeffrey Epstein case, okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene could have had Virginia speak tons of times. Virginia was a big fan of the president. If you don't know who Virginia is, Virginia was the most outspoken Epstein victim. Okay, she could have had Virginia speak plenty of times. She did not. All right, that woman does not care. I cannot stand a woman who likes to backtrack, backpedal, because here's the thing. You were with everything that was going on as long as it was benefiting you. Everything. Absolutely everything. Okay. And if you cared so much about those women, how come you didn't spread Virginia's story? How come you didn't push for that? Okay. She was with Donald Trump all the time, just like you were. Okay. So I know you crossed paths with Virginia. Okay. Before she died, one of her last tweets was about Donald Trump. So, you know, she's full of it. I'm gonna just say that she's absolutely full of it, because here's the thing: if she wanted to, she could. If she wants to, exacerbate anything, really, she has the platform. Okay, she has it, but she didn't. So I don't want to hear it. A lot of these politicians are they're in it for themselves. And if you ask me, she's probably part of the Rhino class. She's probably part of the class that, uses their legislative powers to insider trade. Okay. That's on the right and the left. Okay. The Rhinos and the Democrats, they both do the same thing. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is absolutely no different. But as soon as she had a problem, she runs to the media. She ran to the liberal media, the same media that she said was fake news, all of a sudden has given her an ear. I wonder why. You can't make it up. Chris Brown already said it. They ain't loyal. Not none of them. Okay. It doesn't matter if they're on the right or the left. Okay. None of them are loyal. Again, I am America first. However, it just blows my mind for someone like Marjorie, who has voted with Donald Trump on the same issues. All right. Has voted with Donald Trump on the same issues. And yes, absolutely, those two parties are absolutely different. Do they both have stupid people and greedy people and people that side against America on them? Absolutely. That's why they're called rhinos. Okay. And most of the Democrats are absolutely neocons. All right. But let's be clear. There are a lot, and I do mean a lot more of policy driven things for Americans on the right than there are on the left. Everything on the left is always socialism. Everything on the left is always somebody else's money. Everything on the left always adds to the deficit. It never decreases the budget. It's never going to help. It's never something that's actually going to get you by. And there's actually never a plan. That's what pisses me off about it, because there's nothing there. You make all of this hoopla about whatever president is in that isn't in your party to turn around and be like, yeah, I don't have nothing for you. You don't have anything. They don't have anything. Okay. They had the Democrats had Barack Obama and both branches. Okay. How they like to say Donald Trump, you have the White House, the Senate, and the House. Okay. Barack Obama had the White House, the Senate, and the House. Didn't see them do anything that actually would have been great for immigration. And Barack Obama passed a lot of things. Didn't see him do anything for Black people either. And he passed a lot of things, including the LGBTQIA carry the one. Okay? If he wanted to, he could have, but he did not. But I tell you what he did do. We'll get into that later. However, Marjorie Taylor is a traitor. Absolutely. Absolutely. That man, no, Donald Trump did not put her on. However, that man gave her a built-in base that actually went out there and supported her. Okay? You have absolutely every right to disagree with the president if you want. I don't agree with everything that Donald Trump does. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, trust me, has something up her sleeve. She absolutely does. So you guys, if you want to go ahead and watch this whole interview, you can, I guess, go on 60 Minutes, and watch it. However, I'm telling you right now, I think Marjorie is gearing up for a tell-all. That's just my thoughts. I think Marjorie's gearing up for a tell-all. I think Marjorie is going to tell all about Donald Trump, all the inside things that she knows, like most people close to Donald Trump. And see, here's the thing. just like anybody else that's super famous and rich, when you have people close to you and they get disgruntled, they like to, tell your business. They like to go ahead and talk about you as if they were not complicit. As if they weren't complicit. It's wild to me that we sit here and talk about these people as if they were not complicit in all of this. It's so wild to me. But you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Is she telling on Donald Trump? Like, did she just tell it all? She got a book. I bet she do. I bet she does. I absolutely bet she does, because Marjorie Taylor Greene is very self-serving. Okay. She talks about that construction business. All of a sudden, she has a heart for immigration. All of a sudden. I guess so. When you walked up and saw that your construction site was absolutely empty. Okay. And now you're going to have to pay people for what they're worth, Americans. Yeah, I bet you did have a problem. It's not just, the Democrats. It is a lot. There are a lot of rhinos that operate this way. Okay. They're no different because they're self-serving. They're absolutely self-serving. And I don't care what side of the aisle they're on. If they are not America first, they got to go. Okay. Marjorie Taylor Greene can be here on this subject, but let's be clear. She had those illegals working for her on those construction sites. And that's a fact. And now all of a sudden, well, what are we supposed to do? Ma'am, go hire legal workers. How about that? You can't make this stuff up. You guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene, okay? And all of her bad highlights. Let me know what you think about her and what she has going on. And if you think she's going to drop a book, okay? She's going to drop a tell-all. I think she better not ever try to run for anything. I'm telling you, it's not going to work. All right, you guys, let me go ahead and read the super chats, and then we're going to get into what I want to get into the most. Shout out to y'all in the chat. Y'all are wild. Tavis with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Marjorie Taylor Greene, or MTG, did a heel turn like the Big Show. When I tell you, she just upped and flipped, and yeah, it was just wild. Absolutely wild to see that she just flipped like that. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's see here. We got the business bully. Hey, what's up, Dave? With the $4.99 super chat. The only thing standing between us and bald-headed reasoning is Micca. They all have bald-headed reasoning, okay? Even the women on the right, okay? The rhinos, they got bald-headed reasoning too. Okay, I'm starting to see it. Okay, Marjorie is proving them right. Them highlights is just it's cooking her. Keep cooking them, Micca. Thank you. I appreciate you, Dave. Thank ya. And then, oh God, do I have to argue? I seen a Dallas. I thought I saw a Dallas somewhere. What's up, CD? With the $2 super chat, straight fire on here and Room 9 MVP. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. The people's champ. Thank you. Mm-hmm. You ready for the couch, sir? You ready to come over with the Redskins to the couch? Are you ready? Probably not, but it doesn't matter. All right, you guys. Let's go ahead and get into what I want to get into really bad. Okay. I want to get into Donald Trump. I want to get into Donald Trump because I am absolutely tired. I am tired of hearing about Donald Trump and this boat. Okay. I'm so sick of hearing about, did he go to Congress? Did he declare war? I'm telling you, I think people act like we don't have the internet, that we didn't have the internet, that we don't remember. Okay. That we can't recall. I just absolutely think they think we're stupid. They absolutely think we're stupid. Okay. I think they think we're all the 92%. I think they think we all strode to the polls behind our women, the ones on the left. And I think they can pull a wool over our eyes, as if we didn't see that they registered all of that stuff before they even got into, all of this stuff with Donald Trump. I'm going to tell you what I mean, but I want to get into Dana Bash here, okay? We're going to get into this, and then I'm going to tell you a lot. I'm going to break down a lot in this segment, all right? Let's get into Dana Bash here and Tammy Duckworth, all right? Here we go.
Senator, have you seen the video?
I have seen the video, and it is deeply disturbing. I am mostly concerned with the fact that we are putting our American servicemen and women in jeopardy here. We're putting them in jeopardy in case they ever get shut down. We're putting them in legal jeopardy. They could be brought up in international criminal courts. And so what we're doing here is taking those professionals, or utmost professionals, and putting them into harm's way. And that's what bothers me the most about what Pete Hegseth is doing. He is the least qualified Secretary of Defense in our nation's history, and he's very cavalier about doing things. Fact of the matter is, only Congress can decide that we can go to war, and there was no such declaration made.
I just want to make sure that that I get this accurate. You have seen the classified video of this particular strike, the first strike, and then the double tap, as it's known.
No, I've just seen what's been available in the media.
Okay.
I've read the full report, but I've not seen the actual video.
Girl, you did all of that and you've never seen the video. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So you've never seen the video. So you've only seen what's in the media. So again, you've never seen Donald Trump do the double tap. It's absolutely stupid. It's absolutely stupid. You've never seen it. So how do you know? Because you don't know. I'm telling you, they're all Trump deranged. Okay. Donald Trump should sue them all. You've never seen it. I thought she was going to say that she saw it. Okay. I didn't see everything that she said. So I'm watching it for the first time with you guys. She didn't see it. Okay, cool. But, a little known woman named Hillary Clinton says something very important when they decided to do something.
So, that is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Did it have anything to do with your visit?
Oh, I'm sure it did.
So, that is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Okay, and that's what she said about a person that was an actual president, okay, of a foreign country. All right, and we all know what country that was. All right, we came, we saw, he died. All right, so for Democrats to have such, vitriol for Donald Trump and some fishermen boats, okay, or as we call it down here in DC, the shrimp boat. All right, for all of this vitriol, you would think they would have saw the video, okay, but they didn't see anything. Go figure. However, I want to get into some responses to everything that's going on, and then we're going to dig deeper. All right, here we go.
There's very reliable, multiple sources of intelligence that tells us that this boat had drugs on it,
right,
that everyone on that boat was associated with these designated foreign terrorist organizations that are trying to kill American children.
But are you comfortable having the United States target a boat in which you have not seen evidence that it's actually heading to the United States, that it's an imminent threat?
Any boat loaded with drugs,
remember that word,
that is crewed by associates and members of foreign terrorist organizations that are trying to kill American kids, I think is a valid target. I'm not just comfortable with it. I want to continue it. There's very reliable, multiple sources of intelligence that tells us that this boat had drugs on it, that everyone on that boat was associated with these designated foreign terrorist organizations. So,
okay. So I think her name is Christian. She says, are you certain that there was an imminent threat? All right. Are you certain? Now, where have we heard imminent threat before? Where have we heard that in the media? Where have we heard that, talking to presidential candidates, the White House, talking to the actual president? Where have we heard that before? I remember this one clearly, okay? And this is when, you know, MSDNC 13 actually kind of, maybe a little bit, did a little bit of journalism, okay? And did a little bit of pushback to the liberals. I want to get into this. Here we go.
Speeches that I gave, Jay Johnson gave, John Brennan gave, where we tried to lay out for the American people the considerations that go into the operations. We say that we only take these kinds of actions when there's an imminent threat.
Mr. Attorney General, you brought up the phrase imminent threat. Is that the same as an ongoing threat, or is there a difference between those two?
Well, I mean, you know, some of these things are fact-based, and I can't necessarily get into the weeds or kind of parse these things. You can't, I think, examine these terms without having a reference to the facts.
The facts. These things are based on facts, facts that I cannot tell you, so I cannot reference them because I cannot tell you them, but they are facts. Watch.
Why not release the memos? I mean, you were a driving force behind releasing the Bush administration's torture memos. Why aren't you a force for this?
Well, I mean, we'll have to, you know, look at this and see what it is we want to do with these memos. But you have to understand that we are talking about things that go into really kind of how we conduct our offensive operations.
Right. Exactly. They go into how you conduct your offensive operations. That's the thing we want to know about.
This memo, the memo doesn't seem to be classified, though, right? It was marked confidential but not classified. Why not release that to the general public? You said that you can only discuss that in a classified setting, but in this memo, you're discussing the difference between those two. We're taking what sounds like an ongoing threat and saying that it's an imminent threat.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's something we'd have to look into, you know, what's exactly in the white paper. We'd have to look into that.
Are you not aware of what's in the white paper?
We'll have to look into that.
You have to look into that. You know, your agency wrote it. Also, NBC put the whole thing online.
Absolutely.
Seriously, check it out. Super easy. We've linked to it at Matto blog. You can just look at it there. It's 16 pages long, shorter than most articles in the New Yorker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a bipartisan group of 11 U.S. senators has written to President Obama
What
asking him to release what is still secret about why the administration and the president think that it is legal to kill Americans this way. Quote, "It is vitally important for Congress and the American public to have a full understanding of how the executive branch interprets the limits and boundaries of this authority so that Congress and the public can decide whether this authority has been properly defined and whether the president's power to deliberately kill American citizens is subject to appropriate limitations and safeguards."
Okay.
Honestly, in the real world, particularly in the real political world, there is some compunction, but very little compunction about the president using extreme counterterrorism measures.
Mm-hmm.
The president using lethal force against bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
In the case against the American whose killing seems to have inspired a lot of his secret legal reasoning, the case against Anwar al-Awlaki does not exactly tug at the heartstrings, right? U.S. citizen or not.
Right.
As a senior recruiter for al-Qaeda, he was associated both with the mass shooting attack at Fort Hood in 2009 in Texas and with the attempted Christmas Day airliner attack, the underwear bombing, right? Later that same year. If we accept that the U.S. is at war with al-Qaeda, then it is not a stretch to believe that the U.S. would target a prominent al-Qaeda figure like Anwar al-Awlaki in that war. I mean, with some exceptions, the broad political and moral and legal issue here is not an issue with U.S. forces killing bad guys. The issue here is who's a bad guy? And how do you figure it out? If this is the means by which we're going to decide, not that you're going to be arrested and tried, but the means by which we will decide whether the president can order you dead, then on what basis is the president making that decision? How do they determine who's a bad guy?
How do they determine?
Or as Oregon Senator Ron Wyden put it in a written question to the president's CIA nominee, John Brennan, how much evidence does the president need to determine that a particular American can be lawfully killed?
How much?
Following naturally on from that, and this is the one that keeps me up at night, does the president have to provide individual Americans with the opportunity to surrender before killing them? Does this obligation change if the president's determination that a particular American is a valid target has not been publicly announced or publicly reported?
Oh.
Think about that, right? If you're an American citizen and the president's going to kill you, do you have the right to give yourself up instead so you don't get killed?
No.
And how do you know you should do that if the president's decision that he's going to kill you is a secret decision that nobody ever tells you?
Really?
And are we right also in only imagining this kind of thing happening in places like Yemen or Pakistan? Quoting again from Senator Wyden here, are there any geographic limitations on the intelligence community's authority to use lethal force against Americans? Do any intelligence agencies have the authority to carry out lethal operations inside the United States?
Well, do they?
Good question. Good questions. And now the question is whether the administration is going to make John Brennan field those questions alone before the Senate on Thursday at his confirmation hearing. Are they going to disclose anything else to provide answers to these questions before their nominee is forced to try to handle them alone on Thursday when his nomination is on the line? TikTok.
Well, that was, I will quote about, I want to say 14 years ago. Okay, so we know how that turned out. They did not. Okay, they never provided any evidence. They've never provided evidence that that man was into all of the things that they said he was into. So not only that, the president of the United States at the time, Mr. Barack Hussein Obama, okay, he decided that he will do what he wanted to do, and he sidestepped Congress. Congress on both sides, Democrat and Republican, asked the president. That's what she was reading. Okay, they said, sir, what right do you have to do any of this? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, if that doesn't get you boiling, Rachel, okay, Miss Ric Flair herself decided that she actually would follow up on all of this stuff. I was so surprised, okay? When you dig into the, the archives, you can find one, maybe two good broadcasts, okay? Ever since they become Trump deranged, none. But this was fairly all right. She was asking appropriate questions. So now I want to get into what she had to say the second time around. Here we go.
Under the authority to use military force passed right after 9/11, no, there is no carve out. There's no mention of American citizenship. It's an exceptionally broad mandate from Congress, giving the president pretty much any power he wants to wage war anywhere around the globe. It's battlefield Earth. And there's not really been any pressure from Congress to restrict those powers in any way. The courts decided in the case that you mentioned that they weren't going to sort of step in and say who the military or the president can target. So there's nothing to stop the president from deciding unilaterally who he wants to target.
Wait a minute. Didn't the congresswoman say, oh, he has to go. No, Robinson, and I'm going to target you. Exactly. No, it's not lazy work. You're just mad that I called it out because your boy Barack Hussein Obama did the exact same thing. Okay? Okay? Liberals are always welcome here, but you're going to get this work. Okay? Barack Obama did the exact same thing. The exact same thing. And he did even worse. He killed Americans, 3 of them, and he was okay with it. Okay, last night I watched hours of footage, and I do mean hours. I could do a whole documentary on it. I watched hours of footage of Barack Hussein Obama justifying why he did it. And they said, well, you don't think you have to go to Congress? Well, no, if I think, he literally said, if I think, not if I have information. He said, if I think these people are involved in this, I have every right as I see fit. Please miss me with it. Absolutely miss me with it. Okay? You're welcome here. We can go back and forth. But I'm telling you right now, all you got to do is just type it in. It's there. Just like, oh, Barack Obama did, due process. Due process for what? Because the last time I checked, the ACLU sued Barack Obama for mistreatment of immigrant children, sued Barack Obama for mistreatment of mothers and children that were coming across the border, and he was busing them across the United States. However, he did it quietly. The media nowadays do not let Trump do it quietly. What's the absolute difference? He's never to this day shown the video. We can go on X right now and see the video of this supposed boat that was double tapped that they ain't never seen. Okay, we can go on X and see that. But where is the drone strike that Obama admitted to doing, admitted to killing U.S. citizens, and never put out the footage because he doesn't have to, because he's the who? President.
How important is it to know exactly what role Awlaki had in al-Qaeda and in the sort of franchise model that we think of al-Qaeda as an inspiration for either lone wolf terrorists or small cell-based terrorist groups? How important is it for us to know how that will be different without him, I guess, in terms of coming up with legal justification for how he was killed?
It's crucial for a couple reasons. One is there's no declared war in Yemen, right? We're not at war in Yemen. There's never been any declaration there. So in order under international law for this to have been a legal action in Yemen, there must be some standard of imminence, according to most legal authorities in this sense.
That word again.
So if Awlaki isn't part of some operational plot that's moving forward, it's an open legal question whether killing him was legal. And then furthermore, this is an American citizen we're talking about, both him and Samir Khan. They're clearly guilty of incitement. You can see on any of Awlaki's disgusting, poisonous videos how they're trying to get Americans to kill their fellow Americans. On the other hand, there's absolutely no evidence ever been offered that either man was part of an operational cell of al-Qaeda or part of an unfolding plot. It's just pure assertions. And to kill an American without any recourse to due process of law, absent that basic evidence, is crossing a Rubicon in the war on terrorism.
So not only did he kill Americans, 3 of them, okay, one being a 16-year-old boy, okay, not only did he do that, he absolutely did not get any, and I do mean any authority from Congress to do so, to go overseas and kill someone. He did not do a declaration of war. And third, he never provided any evidence to the public, and he never said there was evidence. He literally said out of his own mouth that if he thinks. So why would I think he would provide evidence? Because he doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. Shocker. And this is not Fox News. This is MSNBC. That man there is a liberal, and we already know Ric Flair. We know she's a liberal. Okay? We know Rachel Maddow is a liberal. So, with that being said, again, the liberals have said the exact same thing. Because this was unprecedented at the time. A U.S. president was okay with killing a U.S. citizen with a drone. Had no problem doing it. And told you why when he got caught. Okay? This was what they were doing. Either some of you are just too old to remember, or some of you, like me, you were young when it happened. But guess where it is? It's on archive. It's in the footage. All you got to do is do your research. Most of you sitting there looking at that phone all day long, and then when you hear something, all you do is look at the title when you can actually go and look it up. Just look it up. That's all you got to do. And you can keep going down the rabbit hole. And you don't have to go to any conspiracy sites. You can go right to MSNBC. It's absolutely wild. So they'll sit there and say, oh my God, this and that. No, it's right there. It's right there. Okay. The United States government has been doing things like this for a while. Okay. Now, if you want to go ahead and dig into it and make Donald Trump, show the evidence, which he should, okay, show the evidence of what he did, then cool. And why did he do it? Show me the footage, okay? Show me pictures, all of this stuff. I'm absolutely okay with that. But to say, as what is her name again? Tammy Duckworth, okay? Miss Tammy Duckworth, this lady right here, okay, to say that to say that Donald Trump is a war criminal for doing so. Barack Obama should have been arrested, okay? The war crimes are off the hook. Let's be clear. They're off the hook. And those are only some, okay? He's never declared war in Pakistan, Yemen. But we all know about the 7-war plan, okay? It started under Bush and it just went full steam ahead 2.0 under Barack Obama. We already know about it, to topple these countries. I played Hillary Clinton for you. He came, he saw, he died, okay? That's how it goes. That's absolutely how it goes. But they like to ignore that. However, let's continue because people just absolutely don't want to believe something that is absolutely true. So let's continue to the next part here. Donald Trump, let's go ahead and get into that because Donald Trump responds to a reporter, doing what they do best, fake news. Here we go.
You said you would have no problem with releasing the full video of that strike on September 2nd off the coast of Venezuela. Secretary Hegseth now says...
You said that. I didn't say that. This is ABC fake news.
You said that you would have no problem releasing the full video. Okay, well, Secretary Hegseth...
Whatever Hegseth wants to do is okay with me.
He now says it's under review. Are you ordering the secretary to release that full video?
Whatever he decides is okay with me. So every boat we knock out of the water, every boat, we save 25,000 American lives. That was a boat loaded up with drugs. I saw the video. They were trying to turn the boat back to where it could float. And we didn't want to see that because that boat was loaded up with drugs just like everything else. But every boat we shoot down, and I don't know if you know, we're 92 or 94% down in drugs coming in by the sea. Good. And we're trying to find who are the 6%. Because I don't know, people aren't liking to drive boats right now loaded up with drugs. But think of that. Every single boat we shoot out, on average, we save 25,000 American lives. Do you feel okay about that, Court?
Keep us safe.
Okay. I know my men. What about you? Are you okay with that?
I'm totally fine with that. Are you committed to releasing the full video?
Didn't I just tell you that?
You said that it was up to Secretary Hegseth.
You're the most obnoxious reporter in the whole place. Let me just tell you, you are an obnoxious, a terrible reporter. And it's always the same thing with you. I told you, whatever Pete Hegseth wants to do is okay with me.
That's absolutely hilarious. So, yes, that is what is really going on, okay? That's what's really going on. So, if you want the president, okay, let's start here. This president is using what has been set by previous presidents, okay? That's usually what presidents do, okay? Now, you can get into the weeds of what you think is right, wrong, whatever. But he did not put this in place. Previous presidents put it in place. Bush used it, and so did Obama. Okay? That Patriot Act is wild on the powers that the American citizens gave presidents. Okay? You railroaded your own constitution by allowing the United States to do what they did during 9/11. Okay? Barack Obama even said it himself. You can't have it both ways. Okay? If I can find it, I'm going to pull it up. Barack Obama said you can't have it both ways. You either want your freedom and privacy, or you want security, and that comes with surveillance. You can't have it both ways. And you gave up your freedom and privacy for security, or what you thought was security, and you got surveillance and tons of it. Okay? Tons of it. You got a police state because this is what you signed up for. It's absolutely what you signed up for. And Bush, he doubled down on it, and so did Barack Obama. Okay? And then you gave him a Peace Prize for it. You gave him a Peace Prize for it. And still to this day, They talk about it. Oh, Barack Obama got a Peace Prize. He don't even know why he got a Peace Prize. He was surprised. It's absolutely insane. I don't have enough time here to actually go and give you a deep dive on it because I could. It's absolutely insane what's being allowed, period. But it's only coming up because of the TDSers. They don't like Donald Trump. Now, if you actually go and look at some of the unclassified footage and photos and things like that, you can clearly see the drugs. Now, do I believe as an American, we should know when these people go and do what they do? Yes. But am I dumb enough to think that a government will tell you everything it does? Absolutely not. Okay. And it could be either nefarious or it can be because of national security. Okay. So absolutely not do I think you will know everything. But I do think when people declare wars, when they're in certain territories doing things, yes, you should let the American people know. Absolutely. But again, these same Democrats that are crying and whining right now had absolutely nothing to say. It was crickets. It was nighttime. It was melatonin. Okay. They were all asleep when Barack Obama was doing this. I didn't hear a peep. Not a word. Okay. If Ric Flair was the one that brought it up, you know it was a problem. But all of a sudden, Donald Trump is the first president to do any of this stuff. Please go look up those executive orders. I tell y'all all the time about that NDAA. You can start there. However, that is what I wanted to get into with that, because when I tell you this has been like the talk, and when I say the talk, I do mean the talk. Okay. Tom Cotton has told you guys these people are running drugs, and I believe it. Okay. Drugs, guns, anything else they can get their hands on. Quiet as a mouse. Okay. They were doing it. Hell, the United States government even did it at one point. You guys remember Fast and Furious? That was Barack Obama. Where they lost the guns that they sent to Mexico, and the Mexican people were being unalived by the guns from the United States, and so were people up in Chicago. And it came to a head when a border agent was unalived by those same guns, and then the president invoked something that nobody ever has. Okay. For testifying in Congress. Executive privilege. He decided that, hey, what I have that's in my possession under the executive branch, y'all don't need to know. So again, why the hypocrisy? Like you never heard it before. Why the hypocrisy? Like you don't know where it came from. Okay. Because Barack Obama made sure he did it and will tell you why he did it. Okay. Y'all get caught up in all that smooth talking. This is what has to be done. And Michelle and I, that's what y'all get caught up in. Y'all get caught up in that. Y'all get caught up in on the, me and Michelle, we got a basketball court. All that swag that y'all say he has. Y'all get caught up in all of that. But that man is absolutely, and I do mean absolutely, if we're going to talk about war crimes, if we're going to talk about illegal, 8 years of it. The highest, right after Baby Bush, is Barack Obama. And that is a fact. You guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about that. Because I'm telling you right now, at the end of the day, you guys, Barack Obama said, I'm telling you, a whole new presidents here. Okay. The United States had never seen nothing like it. Okay. And even try to double down on it a little bit with Joe Biden. Okay. Because Joe Biden was a little bit of Barack Obama's third term. Because you know what he said. Okay. If I could just have somebody else in office and I could just tell them what to do and, you know, I don't have to be there, that'll work for me. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think about the drug boats. Let me know what you think about Tammy Duckworth. Okay. Let me know what you think about her and all of her nonsense on what she had to say about Donald Trump. And this essentially being murder because he did a strike without letting Congress know. Meanwhile, a whole Democratic U.S. president killed 3 U.S. citizens that were born here, not born somewhere else, and became an American citizen. No, they're from here. They were born and raised here. Mm-hmm. And didn't feel like he had to tell the American people. Absolutely insane. What's up, you guys? I see some of y'all. All right. So, okay. Let's move into this last point here. I want to talk about the Somalis. Okay. I want to get into that. The reason why I really am annoyed with the whole Somali talk. Okay. I'm annoyed with the whole Somali talk because you got, what's her name? Ilhan Swami, Omar, who continuously plays in our face as American citizens, as taxpayers, as smart individuals. Okay. Clearly, we understand what that community over there in Minnesota has been doing. Okay. All but 8 people were committing fraud in that whole scheme. Okay. For billions. And she knew about it. All right. And now we have some of the receipts and we have an investigation being called for, you know. So I want to go ahead and get into that. But I wanted to recognize one of our fellow content creators who decided to speak out about this and essentially became a target. All right. I want you guys to get into this. This is what she said at first.
Come see Columbus, Ohio, fraud investigators. If you go to the government assisted housing areas, you will find that most of the housing is Somalians. I would say about 80% of the government assisted housing in Columbus is occupied by Somalians. And the parking lot is occupied with a whole bunch of brand new cars. And the women walking around have designer purses with EBT cards, and they have Apple iPhones stuck up in their hijabs. Yeah. And then go to the businesses that are owned by the men. Because see, what happens is when you have a restaurant or when you have a little corner store and you have a couple of wives and you only have to claim one, then that means the other wives get EBT cards. And you can use those EBT cards to buy food for your store or your restaurant.
That's fat.
Yeah. Or what you can do is you can get a home health aid company. And then you only hire Somalians to work the home health aid. And what you do is you just make sure their paperwork looks right. It don't have to be right, but you just make sure it looks right. And then you send them off for those home health aid jobs. Y'all don't want to talk about fraud. So they are outside my house throwing something at my windows. And no, I'm not going to go look out the window and take video and all of that. I'm not going to the window. That's what I think they want me to do, is go to the window. I'm more angry than I am mad, even though my heart is bouncing out my chest. I am angry because that is stupid. And it makes me also concerned because I live in a boarding house, which means there are other women in this house. How do you know exactly which window is mine? Who told you? They got to be in this house to know. And yes, I rent from Muslims, so I don't know if my landlord told somebody which room is mine.
That's who told. This is absolutely crazy. All right. It's insane because she's a content creator. And like I was saying, you know, and she's fairly popular, right? She's very popular on Instagram and X. All right. And here's the thing about it. You'll sit here and, you know, talk about something that's in the media, on the news. She's not making up anything. She's not, you know, saying anything that the media isn't already talking about. And she gets this. Okay. And the reason why she gets it is because she's a conservative. All right. But best believe, ma'am, somebody in that house knows what you do, knows what you say. And yeah, you cannot run your mouth where the enemy is. that's your bad. All right. But still, nobody still should be doing any of this. So I just wanted to, you know, spread that bit of information because I thought it was absolutely insane. Okay. Absolutely insane. Now let's get into our worst Somali in here. Okay. The worst one of all, you know, that married her brother, Ilhan Paswami Omar. She was on Face the Nation and decided to talk about the president. Okay. I want to get into that with Face the Nation and Omar. This right here. Liberal women. Child.
And we're joined now by Minnesota Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Margaret.
We have a lot to get to with you, but I want to pick up on where the Treasury Secretary just left off. He alleged that people who were tied to you or your campaign were involved in this broad, brazen scheme to rip off the Minnesota state welfare system. Do you want to respond to that? Do you know what he is referring to?
I really don't, and I don't think the secretary himself understands what he's referring to.
We know.
We obviously had people who were able to donate to our campaign that were involved. We sent that money back a couple years ago. And actually, I was one of the first members of Congress to send a letter to the Secretary of Ag asking them to look into what I thought was a reprehensible fraud that was occurring within the program.
That's because you knew.
So this was, just for our audience, the Biden-era Justice Department called it the largest COVID fraud scheme in the country. And this was pocketing COVID-era welfare funds, more than $1 billion in taxpayer money that was stolen. It was pretty shocking. Of the 87 people charged, all but 8 are of Somali descent. And that has added to the spotlight being put specifically on your community. Why do you think this fraud was allowed to get so widespread?
Well, I want to say, you know, this also has an impact on Somalis because we are also taxpayers in Minnesota. We also could have benefited from the program and the money that was stolen. And
you could have benefited, ma'am. Everybody that was caught, other than 8 people, 90-something% were Somalian. You did benefit. Like your community benefited. How? What is she talking about? You were the exact ones who benefited. You need more? Absolutely not.
So it's been really frustrating for people to not acknowledge the fact that we're also as Minnesotans, as taxpayers, really upset and angry about the fraud that has occurred.
Okay.
So do you think, though, that there was a failure by the Democratic state government to police itself? This is a brazen, fraudulent activity here.
Yeah, and that is what I alluded to in my letter that I'd sent to the Secretary of Ag, was to see where things were going wrong. How can this amount of money disappear fraudulently without there being alarms being set off? And it is something that, we have to continue to investigate. We have to continue to ask those questions.
Because, as you know, one of the initial defenses by the organization at the heart of the fraud, Feeding Our Future, was to claim the probe was due to racism. Do you think that this was all about negligence, or that it was like political fear of alienating the Somali community?
Tell us.
So you have to remember that the woman who led the program is a Caucasian woman.
It's on now. It is on now. She made sure, okay, when they said, they said when they got caught, they would say that it was racism. Okay, it is racism that is the reason why you are coming after us. It is racism. Okay, so being that it would have been racism, who was she throwing under the bus? The white woman. That liberal white woman that was running that company with them. Okay, I don't know if she was there to make them look legit or what, but she was running the company with them. Okay, she was like one of the only non-Somalians that was there. However, she threw that white woman under the bus so quick. You cannot trust none of this, yo. I'm telling you, when it comes to politics, when it comes to these people, you cannot trust it. Yeah. That was wild.
And that was her way of making sure that this would continue to happen by using whatever rhetoric that was available to her.
That's what y'all do.
We do know that when the money was stopped, they did sue. The AG, Attorney General Keith Ellison, defended the department in that lawsuit. It was a judge that said it should continue, that money should continue to go out. And so this wasn't something that people were not looking at. There was always those alarms, and we will continue to understand where things might have gone wrong as these investigations continue and as these fraudsters are prosecuted and sent to jail.
Well, it's going to have impact for your community, because we've already heard that the head of Medicare and Medicaid say they're going to have a new policy that applies to Minnesota. You heard the Treasury Secretary say they're investigating. But there's another thread here, because House Republicans and the Treasury Secretary just now talked about a link to terrorism, a possible link. He said they're just now beginning to look into it. How confident are you that that's a false claim?
I'm pretty confident at the moment, because there are people who have been prosecuted and who have been sentenced. If there was a linkage in that the money that they had stolen going to terrorism, then that is a failure of the FBI and our court system in not figuring that out. And
hey, I'm telling you right now, it is absolutely wild what she is saying. The FBI, okay, it is the failure of the FBI and the court system for not being able to figure that out. Y'all can't catch us, okay? It is catch me if you can out here, Leonardo DiCaprio, okay? It is, I can't. This is wild. I mean, the court system, why you don't catch it? Why you don't catch it? It is not my fault. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You are not going to blame the government. We just automatically supposed to know that all the Somalians are over there just doing fraud. I mean, you didn't catch us, so whose fault is that?
basically charging them with these charges. And so I do know that for many years, this sort of like alarm that there is money being transferred through the airport in bags and going to terrorism that accusation has always existed. There's never been here and there in those accusations. But if that is the case,
oh my God. That woman is wild. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into what she's not trying to talk about. That woman is absolutely wild. Let's go ahead and get into this investigation. Okay, that the FBI is did catch. Okay. They're calling for an investigation into Ilhan Omar. Let's get into that.
I'm Omar, on the U.S. House Committee on Foreign Affairs. I'm also asking Congresswoman Craig to initiate an ethics investigation into Congresswoman Omar because of questions about federal tax fraud, federal immigration fraud, federal student loan fraud, and state violations of perjury, bigamy, kickbacks, and acts of campaign fraud abuse in Boston, Washington, New York, Chicago, and Florida.
Now, she said she didn't know what the Treasury Secretary was talking about. All right. And here is the representative. Okay. I want to say Stravaki. The representative of Minnesota. All right. He is calling for an FBI investigation into Ilhan Omar for that very reason that she said that she didn't understand why the Treasury Secretary would say something like that about her being connected.
There are also violations of state ethics or of the Minnesota House ethics rules regarding colleges for speeches she gave while she was in partial control of their budgets as a member of the House Higher Education Finance Committee.
Wow.
In both 2017 and 2018.
Wow.
She was found guilty of the violations by the Minnesota Campaign Finance Board 3 weeks ago in order to return those funds on June 6th. Ms. Omar appears to be a serial career criminal and should not have access to our nation's highest secrets and intelligence. That is why I'm calling on our Congresswoman Angie Craig to protect both our national security and our respect of the rule of law. Tax fraud, immigration fraud, student loan fraud, perjury, bigamy, kickbacks, and campaign abuse fraud from the East Coast to the Mississippi River.
Not the Mississippi River.
If those charges have been brought against Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann, the Star Tribune would not have said on Sunday that she was attempting to, quote, skirt the law, and then followed up with a front page story the next day on a pie in the sky proposal that had zero chances of becoming law.
So let's be clear here. Okay. Miss Ilhan is a whole liar. Miss Omar is a liar. Okay. She knew exactly why. All right. She's already been proven to have done some of these things. When I tell you it's so hard to just get these people, it's so hard to get these people. All right. Because they're always connected with somebody else to somebody else to somebody else. However, she knew exactly what that man was talking about. All right. They know what they're talking about, but they get to hide behind the racist. Okay. They get to hide behind that word because when they hide behind that word, it makes everything else void. All right. Barack Obama did the same thing. While he's doing everything illegal or anything that he wants to do, if you question it, it's racist. It's absolutely racist. Okay. And that is a word that they can use to get you to back down. That's why the white woman that was working with, that organization that has been since convicted of fraud, right? She got convicted back in February, March, something like that. All right. She's been convicted already. But the reason why they were able to get that off and the reason why they were able to say, well, this is what we're going to do, because they already know the rhetoric that's out there. All we got to do is say that it's racist. Once it's racist, you can't say anything about it. Thus, I get to keep doing what I'm doing. Absolutely insane. But it goes to show you, like I said before, liberals will use anything that's for the minorities to get ahead. Okay. Why is that white liberal woman the top organizer of the Somali child? You can't make it up. You can't make it up. All right. But that is exactly what's happening. Now, you heard Omar there say that why didn't the FBI, it's their fault. The FBI and the local law enforcement, why don't they know these things? Okay, cool. Why didn't they find it out? Okay, cool. This is what the FBI did to find out exactly with one of her campaign donors. This is what they did to find out what they were doing. And they had no idea. And this was used in court, in their trial. And this is the person that's also attached to Ilhan, but everything is the racist, per usual.
In December of 2021, the FBI installed a surveillance camera overlooking this building just off Lake Street in Minneapolis. At the time, it was Safari Restaurant, which overall took in $12 million in federal child meal payments through Feeding Our Future. Safari's former co-owner, Salim Saeed, is on trial alongside Amy Bach, the Feeding Our Future executive director. Safari claimed to feed 4,000 to 6,000 kids a day. Its invoices and meal counts shown to the jury alongside the video. An FBI agent testifying that an average of 40 people came and went during the 6 weeks it was surveilled. The FBI set up a total of 12 cameras at sites claiming to serve extraordinary numbers of meals. Another was at a deli in St. Paul, also registered by defendant Salim Saeed, which claimed 1,800 meals per day. The video shown to the jury showed an average of 20.
They installed cameras above these places. You guys said, okay, that they were getting, they were feeding 1,800 meals per day. The video showed 23 people. They are wild for this.
3 people a day coming and going. The jury was shown dozens of invoices, meal counts, and emails seized from Feeding Our Future's headquarters in St. Anthony. Some showed links to websites that randomly generated names and ages to create rosters of children who were served meals. Many were signed or sent by Amy Bach, who's charged with wire fraud, along with bribery for the alleged kickbacks that she received. Her defense attorney tried to raise doubt when it cross-examined the FBI agent, that they didn't see the back entrance where it's possible meals left packed in trucks for delivery.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, but that's a good attorney. He tried it. However, the attorney argued that they didn't have a camera on the back door. So, they were packing in, like, even though they only had 23 come through the front, all the rest of the 1,700 and something went out the back. You can't make this stuff up.
He pushed back, insisting they'd still see congestion. To that volume, he said, I would say it would not make any sense.
That case became one of the biggest COVID-era frauds in America. And the kicker, Minnesota's own Department of Education had red flags, massive spikes in reimbursement requests, impossible meal counts, and they still rubber stamped the paperwork. Now, this new audit proves what everyone with a brain has been saying for years. Incompetence starts at the top. When the governor's own office is sloppy with receipts, how can he possibly keep his agencies in line?
That's because he did not. He absolutely didn't. Okay. The governor didn't care. The governor even threatened some of the staff when they tried to warn him. Okay. Because he did not want to lose the Somali. The Somalis were voting for him. Okay. My girl on point. Absolutely. All right. Why is independent media? Why are we able to look up this stuff? Why are we able to do these things? And the mainstream media is not. Why not? Oh, because we don't care about we don't care about calling it out. We don't care if it's the white community, it's the black community. No, if you're defrauding, you're gonna get it. Okay. We don't care if you're foreign. We don't care about any of that. And if Americans can go to jail for PPP fraud, the Somalis can get it. Okay. They can get deported. They can go to jail. Everything that needs to happen needs to happen. Because if you go down to Atlanta, a lot of those people had to answer. If you go down to Miami, a lot of those people had to answer for all that fraud with the PPP loans. And guess what? The Somalis is going. Absolutely.
Republican Senate leader Mark Johnson said it perfectly. Quote, sloppy accountability at the top breeds waste and abuse everywhere else. And he's right about that. You cannot preach fiscal responsibility when you are overpaying employees, losing state property, and mismanaging vendor payments. And it's not just the feeding our future mess. We've also got the autism services fraud case, another multi-million-dollar scam in the same state.
That is the one we reported on last time, okay? Where they had all of these people signing up to be therapists. They had all of these people signing up to be this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, they only had a couple of caseloads. Just like they only feed a couple of people here. They only feed like 23 people. Same difference, okay? It's the same thing. Absolutely not, okay? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's wild. But yet, Ilhan and crew want you to, think that, we're stupid. Ilhan and crew, there she is. Ilhan and crew wants you to think that we don't know what she's doing. Ilhan wants you to think that we don't know exactly what that community, what the Democrats are doing. And Tim Walz was almost the vice president. Okay. Elmer Fudge was literally a heartbeat away from being the president. And he can't run a state. None of these people could run a state. Okay. Not Tim Walz, not Gavin Newsom. Not bald-headed reasoning Westmore here in Maryland. None of these people can run a state. Not Kathy Hochul up there in New York. Absolutely not. These people are absolute trash. But they want to be the president. And Tim Walz almost pulled it off. Okay? He almost pulled it off. The knucklehead himself almost pulled it off. Because I can't believe that all of you people that were on the left voted for him. Okay? And to my guy in the chat, like I told y'all, Libs, I love y'all when y'all come over here. I love it. Let's have the debate. But here's the thing. Again, it's always a this or that. I just called out Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care about that. I don't care about no Republican, no Democrat. Like, do I vote for Republicans way more? Yeah, absolutely. I've never voted for a Democrat because the Democrats never came up with a plan that I agree with. But I can tell you exactly to this date, if there is a Republican that I disagree with, I will call them out. It just is what it is. And then two things could be true at the same time. Somebody can have a point and still be trash. Okay? Nobody is above it. Nobody. Okay? But here's the thing. The United States, okay? The United States it has a problem. Okay? And it has the same problem that Europe had a couple of years ago. All right? It's going through an identity crisis where they're trying to replace the people. And when I say replace the people, for some reason, everybody goes back to is the racist. Okay. It's everybody that is American, everybody's whose parents were here. Okay. We're American. So if you're upset that people don't want other people coming to this country, taking their hard-earned money. All right, you already got to fight with your government. You already got to fight with your government. Now we have to fight with other people from other nations that come in and get what the government doesn't even want to give you as an American. Okay? Rightfully so. I've never seen people fight this hard for people to stay out of jail. I've never seen it. I absolutely never seen it. Oh, keep the kids together. Since when? They love taking kids away from parents. Since when? They love telling you what you can do with your kid. But meanwhile, people that cross the Rio Grande, they're telling them, oh, you keep your kids together. Keep your families together. Keep these people together. I've never seen so much unity. Not in my life. Not at all. I've never seen the government rally around a group of people. It's crazy. But yet, I'm supposed to feel a certain way. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay? Every last one of these people that are arrested got what they deserve. Every last one of these people that are being investigated did it. Okay? They did it. Criminals. It is what it is. Black, white, brown, it doesn't matter. Criminals get what they get. Okay? And Ilhan knows that. Ilhan knows that. So at the end of the day, look, you guys, you have to, vote your interests. But I guarantee not one person, and this is going to be for the new year. When I start doing these call-in shows, I need somebody that is a liberal to give me one Democrat that actually had a plan and a solution and it went through and you benefited from it. And it didn't take tax dollars from somebody else. I'll wait on that. Still, so you got to the new year, okay? So that gives you a couple weeks to figure that out. And then come back. And I'll let you argue it. Okay? Because I would love to hear it. But you guys, at the end of the day, we gotta get rid of the fraud. Okay, it's more than enough of our money going out for stupid wars that we never signed up for. It's more than enough of our money going out for a lot of things. And to those people who don't like the whole immigration thing and say, oh my gosh, well, Donald Trump is just sending black and brown people back. No, he also sent those Ukrainians back. Like 200 or something thousand of them. But the media didn't report on that. I don't know why. I absolutely don't know why. He sent the Ukrainians back. And last time I checked, they was white. Okay? So everybody can get it. All the foreigners can get it. If you don't belong here, if you got temporary status and you start doing stuff that's illegal, you're up out of here. Okay? If you are illegal, undocumented, whatever you want to call yourself, you're up out of here. Donald Trump was absolutely right. All this complaining and stuff like that, we don't have time. We don't have time. We got to clean it up. And this is for all Americans. You have to clean it up. Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. You have to clean it up. This is your country. This is your country. Not nobody else's, not anybody else's. It's yours. Whether you're, a lefty or not. If you're a U.S. citizen, it's still your country. All right. So I fight for everybody. I fight for everybody. I don't vote for everybody, but I fight for everybody because this is the United States, not Somalia. Not for the Somalis, not for the Mexicans, for Americans. Okay. Your hard-earned money should be going to your family. I can think of a million things you can do with those tax dollars. And apparently the Somali can too. So you guys go down in the chat and let me know what you guys think about all of the drama with the Somalis. Okay. And, Ilhan still caping for her community and acting like she don't know why everybody's on her neck, why the feds are on her neck when we know why they're on her neck. Because she's been investigated. And I can't wait till it blows up even more. Let's go ahead and get into these super chats. The Genius CEO with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Here, Mika, I got 5 on it. The next silk press. I don't silk press. I just do a flat iron. But thank you. Those silk presses, I've seen those done. That's a lot of heat. Yeah, I can't do that. Let me get a hair flip for the. Oh, look, I didn't even see that, and I didn't flip my hair. Let me get a hair flip for the roll. I got those lower thirds for you too. Shout out to you. And thank you so much. I appreciate you supporting the platform and supporting me. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Shadow Dragon TV with the $5 super chat. Thank you. Ilhan went from student loan debt to multimillionaire in 2 years. A 3,500% net worth spike in 2 years is fraud and insider trading. She's a liar. Absolutely. Her, Ratchet Crockett, all of those people. It's all the same. It's absolutely all the same. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Shadow Dragon TV. And Classy Young Man 35 with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. She better not say she's black. That's where she was going with it. Oh, if I would have let the rest of it play, that's where she went. Because we are a community of color. We are black people in the United States, and so these are the racist tendencies that the Trump administration seems to have. And when we talk about these things, the white supremacist talking points that Trump and people like him and Stephen Miller do, it exacerbates why he does not like black people from Africa. And now we know why he's targeting our community. It's just racism. That's what she said. That's what she said. I'm just telling you what she said. Okay? That's what she said. Oh my God. Well, look, I agree, Eric Harris. She's absolutely 1,000% more black than Kamala. Okay. That's because Kamala ain't black at all. Not a drop, not a adjacent, nothing. Okay. Y'all let little Curry get over on y'all. You guys, thank you so much for pulling up. I had fun. That's how she talks. That's her accent. And you got to smile a little bit, and you got to look serious, and then you got to smile. And when she, when they come, that's how you got to do it. It is what it is. Okay. I grew up in DC. It's mostly Ethiopians. Like we have a large population of Ethiopians, but I've never seen a large population of Somali. So I had to get this accent together. Okay. You guys, thank you so much for pulling up. I appreciate you. Thank you for spending the time. At least once a week, I try to do the little 2 hours. I told you I'm working on it. I'm working on my 2 hours. It's a lot, but we're getting there. Thank you to everybody that pulled up. Let's do our roll call. Thank you to Alicia. Thank you to agency headquarters. That's how they talk. Look, what you want me to do? Thank you to Frankie Webon. Thank you. I appreciate you pulling up. Thank you, the Junior CEO. Thank you, your car. As always, your car. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shadow Dragon TV. Thank you, Yen Truce. Yen Tros 4422. Okay, thank you so much. Gracias. Thank you, Echo Jedi. Thank you. Thank you, Eric Harris. Thank you so much for pulling up. Who else we got in the building? Thank you, Ellis. Oh, Ellie Sino. Is it Ellis or Ellie? Thank you so much for pulling up. Who else we had in the building? Thank you to Jonathan. Okay, our resident liberal or maybe progressive. But thank you so much for pulling up, even though you disagree. You're all welcome. Thank you, Drama City. Thank you for pulling up. Thank you, Frankie. Thank you, Michael Armstrong. Thank you to who else we got in the building? Oh, okay. Thank you, Melon. Thank you. You know I always mess that up. But thank you so much. I'm gonna get it one of these days. I'm gonna get it. I'm definitely gonna get it. Who else we had in the building? Thank you, Dream Girl. I appreciate you. Thank you, Dreamy Girl. 777. Thank you to who else we got in the building here? Thank you to Classy Young Man. Thank you to Chavez. Thank you to CD. Okay. Thank you to who else we have in the building really quickly. Thank you to Judah. I appreciate you. Okay. Thank you to the Business Bully. I appreciate you. Thank you, Dave. Who else? Who else? Who else? I'm just trying to run through real quick. Thank you to Bobby Cherry. Gracias. Thank you, Trace. I appreciate you. Thank you to another one of my favorite liberals, Tony Robinson. Thank you. Thank you to everybody. Cliff, loud and clear. Thank you. Sugar Shane, everybody that pulled up. DMAC videos, spaces, sapase. Now this name I'm not saying. I'm just gonna say Pickle. You know who you are. Thank you so much for pulling up. You guys, I appreciate you. And thank you so much to everybody who super chatted. Thank you so much to my Cash Appers. Let me make sure I got everybody because I do forget. So I just want to make sure I got everybody. Thank you to Mike That Dude, and thank you to Judah Vision. See, that's why I checked. Thank you, Judah Vision, and thank you, Mike That Dude on Cash App. I appreciate you guys. I really do. Thank you to Chavis. I appreciate you, Chavis. And last but not least, thank you to Anton Daniels that came through with the super chat of the year. It's Christmas time. It was Christmas out here today. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody. Thank you for supporting me. As always, I appreciate every last one of you guys. I say it all the time because I mean it. It's your girl, Mika, and I am out. Peace. Bye.